And welcome to the Web Show on AmericanSportsNet.com. I'm Matt Lincoln. As the NFL celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, we are counting down our Super Poll 50, the 50 best NFL players from American Sports Network conferences. We started with a list of 100 nominees and took them to experts, former players, media members, and agents to narrow the list down to the top 50. Then the rankings were all up to you. An online vote decided who would be number one. Every Friday this month, we will unveil 10 of these Super Bowl 50, with the final 10 announced the week of the Super Bowl, culminating on Friday, February 5th. Let's start by unveiling numbers 50 through 41. Number 50, Willie Williams, defensive back from Western Carolina, the only Steeler to be on both the Super Bowl 30 and Super Bowl 40 teams, career leader among defensive backs at Western Carolina in tackles and passes defended. Number 49, Leonard Smith, cornerback from McNeese State, inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2014, played in Super Bowl 25 for the Bills. Number 48, Gabe Wilkins, defensive lineman from Gardner-Webb, played for the Packers and Niners in his career, won Super Bowl 31, and then also played for the losing team in Super Bowl 32. Number 47, Justin STRZELCZYK, played his entire career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The offensive lineman from Maine was a member of the Super Bowl 30 winning team. Number 46, TRAMON Williams, defensive back from Louisiana Tech, still active, played for a long time though with the Packers, now with the Browns, a member of the Super Bowl 45 winning team. Number 45, Fuzzy Thurston from Valparaiso. The offensive lineman is a six-time NFL champion. 1958, 1961, 1962, and then 65 through 67, including the first two Super Bowls. He played in the Ice Bowl way back when. Number 44, Reggie Williams, linebacker from Dartmouth. Played his entire career with the Bengals, all 14 years. He lost Super Bowls 16 and 23, but is a member of the College Football Hall of Fame. Number 43, LARDARIUS WEBB, defensive back from Nicholls State, won Super Bowl 47 with as a member of the Ravens. Also, only Division I player to win Offensive Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, and Special Teams Player of the Week in the same season. Number 42, Mike Flynn, offensive lineman from Maine, an undrafted free agent by the Ravens, but had a great 10-year career, including being a Super Bowl champion after winning Super Bowl 35. Number 41, Mark KELSO, a safety from William and Mary, played his whole career with Buffalo and was a member of those heartbreaking teams that lost Super Bowls 25, 26, 27, 28. Had 7 interceptions in 1988 and was the Whizzer White Man of the Year Award winner in 1993. To break down numbers 50 through 41 on our Super Poll 50, we are now joined by Russell Baxter from ProFootballGuru.com. Russell, you've been able to see this list. Is there any names that really stick out to you as being deserving of making our list?
Well, you look at this list, and to me, the thing that jumps out more than anything else, it just shows you the impact of all schools when it comes to the National Football League. I mean, it's not just the USCs and the Oklahomas and the perennial powers. You talk about a team sport which is made up of first-round draft choices, undrafted players, smaller schools, and then that's the whole concept of team, as far as I'm concerned. And I think that's what makes lists like these so absolutely fascinating, that you can think of it as somebody who, oh, you went there? Really? Yeah, but I played in a couple Super Bowls. Wow, it's got that wow factor. Again, when you see, I think more than anything else, when I see lists like this, it just brings back good memories.
McNeese State, Valparaiso, Gardner-Webb, all schools that are represented on this list. Every single one of them played in a Super Bowl. Any memories stick out on some of these Super Bowl teams that these players played for?
Well, I see LARDARIUS WEBB on there, and it reminds me of the great run that the Baltimore Ravens had just 3 years ago, unfortunately not in the playoffs this year. So much was made of the Ravens and Joe Flacco that year going through the playoffs and doing what they did, and him throwing 11 touchdown passes and no picks, and at the same time that Ravens defense, which really rose up in the playoffs that year. They beat the Colts at home. They went into Denver and won in overtime. They went in and throttled New England. Had a big lead on San Francisco, held up winning. They had 10 takeaways in those 4 playoff games, and everybody all caught up with Joe Flacco's success, and understandably so. They had such a great postseason. The defense played an obviously big role in that as well. You see a name like Fuzzy Thurston, and memories of the Green Bay Packers of the 60s, a team that won 5 championships in the 60s, including the first 2 Super Bowls. It's kind of fun to think about that now, and that's not so much about Fuzzy Thurston per se. Is we're getting ready for the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl, as you know, and we have a possibility, maybe a long shot, of seeing a rematch of the first Super Bowl and a rematch of the last Super Bowl, which was Green Bay and Kansas City in Super Bowl I and New England and Seattle in Super Bowl 49. So again, you see these names on here and you remember the teams that they play for, and they all evoke different memories for different reasons. I see Reggie Williams on here from Dartmouth, and the Bengals of 1988, who seemed like they had the Niners right where they won them, and then of course Joe Montana pulls off his big drive at the end of Super Bowl 23, the touchdown pass to John Taylor. So again, unfortunately, some of the guys on here not necessarily on the winning end of Super Bowls, but the play-in one is such an honor.
What a titanic performance by Montana in that Super Bowl. But you talk about them not being on the winning side of things. Mark KELSO played for the Bills for all 4 of those. Actually, 22 players played on all 4 of those losing Super Bowl teams for the Bills. But one of the great teams in NFL history that unfortunately doesn't have one of those Lombardi trophies.
No. And, we're talking about Seattle right now trying to become a team, actually the first NFC team to get to at least 3 straight Super Bowls. There's only been ever done before to get the 3 straight. The Miami Dolphins, who went to Super Bowls 6 through 8, they lost 6, but then won 7 and 8. And then, of course, the Bills, who went 0 for 4. But, history is a lot, let's put it this way, history is a lot kinder to the 90s Bills than they were for a long time to, say, the late 60s, 70s Vikings, who lost, they didn't lose 4 Super Bowls in a row, but they lost 4 in an 8-year span. They finally started getting their guys in the Hall of Fame. You have Bruce Smith, you have Andre Reed, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Marv Levy, Bill Polian, who was the architect of that team, who just went in last year, Ralph Wilson, the owner. I think people understand the significance of doing it because it's so hard to repeat. And I'll tell you what, we talk about how hard it is to repeat as a Super Bowl champion and how hard it is to get back to the Super Bowl. You know what the hardest stat is of all those? Getting back and winning the Super Bowl the year after losing the Super Bowl. That has not been done since the 1972 Miami Dolphins, and they had a perfect season to boot with it.
Incredible, but it could happen with the Seahawks if they can pull it off this year. Russell Baxter, read his work at ProFootballGuru.com. Russell, thank you so much for joining us.
You got it, sir.
And there they are, the first 10 of the Super Bowl 50. We will unveil our next 10, numbers 31 through 40, next Friday. Stay tuned right here on AmericanSportsNet.com. I'm Matt Lincoln. Thanks for watching.